Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Compelling Conversations podcast. Today, I'm joined by my friend Muzammil. Muzammil, thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of excited for what's to come, you know.
Yeah, it's just a candid thing, and I'm excited as well. So, I guess just the first thing that's on the top of my mind is when something embarrassing happens to you, how do you deal with it?
Um, okay, we're going right into it. I guess like if something embarrassing happens to me, I usually like I mean many things have happened to me that's embarrassing, but you know what I mean, like usually I just try and like, avoid the situation. You know what I mean? Like whether it be on like social media or something. Like say something embarrassing of me is posted on social media or anything of that sort. You know what I mean? Like just avoid it. And then secondly, I'd usually have someone else handle the situation because, you know what I mean, you're embarrassed, so your emotions are running high and whatnot. So having like, for example, like, you know, like my older brother or something, or like a good friend I can trust, apprehend the situation, talk to whoever that embarrassed me and whatnot. Or if I think I can handle it myself, like, one on one, then, I'll try and talk to the person one on one, be like, hey, I didn't like how you said that about me or anything of that sort. And usually that's how it goes. And then we move on with life. Yeah.
Nice. The reason I asked that was because it was something recently happened to me, and it was pretty embarrassing. And
Um,
like I had to laugh at it, myself, and
hmm
I had to think about it. I was like, I just have to kind of enjoy this for what it is because I don't know why this happened, but
uh-huh.
I felt like it was something that would free me. And it feels like that's what happened. Like it freed me. And so that was just something on the top of my mind, like embarrassment.
Oh,
And what does that do for a person? And how does a person deal with it? It's just something that I was thinking about.
yeah. I mean, it also like depends on like, the level of embarrassment. Like, if it's
Yeah.
nothing too bad, like, oh, you made a small mistake. It's funny in the moment and you can either, deal with it, like accept it. Or if it's something like, like really high, then it's like, okay, like this is really embarrassing of me. How do I go about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually really curious, like, what happened. Like for me, embarrassing moment for me was like I got a ticket for the first time ever. And I was just like, because all I knew was like when I got home, man, my dad was gonna like, yell at me and everything. I was just like, like it is what it is. People were, what I mean, not making fun of me, he's joking, but like if it's a certain degree where I can handle it, then it's okay, And I think based on however you got embarrassed, you should go about that, and it seems like you did by laughing it off or whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, man.
hmm
It's yeah. Abraham Lincoln, he has this thing where he says, if you get really angry at someone, you write them the meanest letter and then you shove it in a drawer and you never give it to them. And what happens is that once that's been done, all your anger and all your resentment for whoever it was just disappears. And I've experienced that like 3 or 4 times, and it's like it truly liberates you. But it's funny because this one letter I wrote, it was just lying around, and somebody had found it and they read
oh,
it.
that's
And I was
not good.
confronted about it, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh my God, this is so embarrassing." And all I could do was just laugh it off, man. Just be like, "Yeah, I wrote that, but it's not like I like mean that. It's just
yeah,
it's like my
that's
it's like my procedure to like get over
uh-huh.
it. You know what I mean?"
hmm
So that was the embarrassing thing that happened. But it was funny because it turns out that that happening freed me even more from it. It's like, oh yeah, it just that's that. It's in the past. It's just
Yeah.
something interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way, I do want to mention, I mean, like to those who do watch the podcast, like Omar put me on and it's journaling. And I mean, like that's probably like the best thing anyone can do. You know what I mean? Like just writing out your thoughts or like about your day. You know what I mean? And it's just for yourself. I mean, if you want to show it as someone, be my guest. But for me, I don't show anyone. It's just for myself. But you know what I mean? Like writing out your thoughts, I think it's really healthy. As you said, you know what I mean? Like it helped you, it freed you even more. So, that's one thing I want to mention. You know what I mean? Like people in the podcast need to know, like, bro, journaling is probably like one of the best and healthiest habits a man can do, you know? But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I'm so glad you mentioned that, man. Thank you for
yeah.
sharing that. Like,
hmm
what are the big differences that you've noticed from journaling? What are the things it's helped you with?
So for me, like journaling, like I'll start with my day, right? Okay, so I woke up around Fajr, prayed Fajr. Then I did this, that, went to campus. Okay, what happened on campus? This happened. And then you're able to reflect like, oh, was I mistreating this person? Was I too rude about a situation? You know what I mean? And you're able to like, I guess like dissect your day and realize, okay, maybe I messed up here. Oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like I had this conversation with this one guy. What if he's right? You know what I mean? So um, like versus the past, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's a New Year's thing for me. So like, I guess last year, you know what I mean? Like you just live day by day, not really reflecting. And I think reflecting as a human and as a Muslim in general too, is something very healthy and like it helps you as an individual. But yeah.
Do you think that journaling and reflecting has in any way improved your interactions with people?
Oh, yeah, definitely 100%. I think, you know what I mean? Like, as I said, I may have had a conversation with someone and maybe I was too rude, right? Then you're able to know, okay, like, was I rude so bad that like I have to apologize to him? Or can I just go, you know what I mean, day to day again? Except this time I'm gonna like, you know what I mean, refrain my tongue, maybe not curse or maybe, not say something that seems sensitive to this person. Um, but yeah, I think that's really it. Yeah.
That's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah. What about you? Like, you know what I mean? Like for you journaling, like, what about you? What are you?
I don't journal like I don't have like a
Like a diary?
well, it's funny. I always carry around like a little journal with me,
Yeah,
but it's
I
and like
see
my
that.
mom, she's like, "Oh, is that your little diary?" I'm like, "No, mom, it's not my diary. It's something I write in, you know?"
Yeah.
Uh, but with me, it's just like I think I am a writer. Or
hmm
I am a writer,
Yeah, you are.
and
Yeah, you
I
are.
just I just write like anywhere, anytime like I feel like I need to write, just write. So for
hmm
me, it's just like a part of my nature. And I do think it has helped with interactions because what happens is now all your thoughts and emotions are kind of like on a tangible piece of paper. So now you
hmm
see them for what they are. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like you mentioned, like you get a moment to kind of reflect on things. And
Yeah.
that reflection, I think, is the process that changes something. And so when
hmm
you interact with people, I think you're a little bit more certain about some things in yourself. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah, no, no, I mean, I agree. You're the one that put me on, and for me, like, it's pretty. I feel like the only thing I will say is like I'm not like up to like it's not like a habit for me. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to make it like a habit, but you know what I mean? Like, let's say like, yeah, as I said, like you know, some situation happened, right? Then like I'll be like, okay, like today, like I have to make sure I write something down so I know where I'm at. But the only downside is, man, my handwriting's not too good and it's a little big, so I take up a whole. I mean, like it's not that
Yo,
big. I
that
don't have it
that's the
on.
beauty of it. That's very
Yeah.
much the beauty of it. And I like how you said that you don't make it a habit because I think what people sometimes fall into is thinking that it needs to be a habit. And if it's
hmm
a habit for someone, like, okay, great if that works for you. But I think it's more important as you put it, where it's like if something happens, then you kind of go to it. Like it's
Yeah.
something that naturally calls to you. I feel
hmm
like yeah, that's what it is, I think. It's just something that naturally calls to you. And then that thing you mentioned about the handwriting, it's like I love that you
Yeah.
mentioned that, man. Because it's like that's fine. That's just the beauty of it. you know?
Yeah. Just raw thoughts. Yeah. Just pouring it all out. Yeah. Hmm.
There's something Matthew McConaughey talks about, which is you should also write when the good things are happening to you too. Do you do that?
Um, Not really. So as I said, you know what I mean? Like, it's really like my whole day. And if it's one sentence, like for example, like I'm just gonna give like a mini, like broad example of how I write. Okay, it's gonna be, I woke up for Fajr. Okay, I dropped my little brother off school. Okay, I took a shower. Then I went to campus. And then let's say something happened in the car ride to campus. Then I'll like write about it. But I don't know about you, but I write in like a third person perspective. But that's me.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
So I'll write it and then I'll be like, this happened, da, da, da. And then as far as good things, like as far as 2023, man, I can't say anything amazing has happened where I have to write it down. But I'm sure like good things have happened where I could write, but maybe I'll try that next time. Yeah. Hmm.
I wanted to also ask you about style because I admire you with the way that you put out your style. Like you do a good job. And
Thank you.
I love how you are also always experimenting. Like you've had all the haircuts, which is so cool, man. Where did this like interest in experimentation come from for you? And what has it done for you?
Um, I mean, like, people have told me, and people have also, I mean, like, made fun of me, like, yo, like, what are you doing? Da, 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 like, why are you wearing this? Or, for me, it's just like, what I mean? Like, I'm just doing me. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I just want to, I mean, try it, whether it be like a simple outfit, like, for me, I'm just wearing hoodies and sweat today, or it'd be a little bit like, a little bit extra in other people's perspective, like, a sweater. I remember I got made fun of, I mean? Like I wore a sweater with like a collar showing. And some people like make fun of me and some people like, oh, like I love it. And I mean, I honestly don't know. Like I have tried reflecting on it. Like, am I doing it for attention? No. If I was, then I feel like I'd be doing a little bit too much. But yeah, as I said, like I just do it for myself. And as far as for the hair, I'm glad, like that's the one thing like I'm proud of. Like, what I mean? Like, achieving all the haircuts you could possibly have. I've had long hair. You've seen that. I've had short hair. I've been bald. I went for Umrah. Had a little this like Edgar cut, and now I have the mullet. Um, I mean, like, I guess just trying things. I mean? People are too scared. Like, oh, especially with hair. Everyone sticks with the same hairstyle.
They do. Baffles
And
me.
yeah, you had long hair at one point, and it looked amazing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? See what I'm
yeah.
saying? So and now like I love how like before, like probably before COVID, like no one did this idea of the middle part. You know what I mean? And now everyone like has a middle part. You see what I'm saying? Like, and now people are sticking with it too, right? So I think it's like, bro, you gotta try it, and then like if you think like, oh, this is, it's also like I guess you could say like finding your identity. You know what I mean? Like so many people like from high school to college in that time span, they're like going through their little identity crisis, trying to find who they are. For me, I think I have found who I am. I'm just, what I mean? I'm still trying things. That's the best way I could put it. But yeah, thank you for noticing the
Yeah,
outfits and the
no,
hair. It means a
for
lot.
sure. Of course, yeah.
Hmm.
It style is something so unique, and as you said, there's so many people that just they stick to the same thing all the time.
Yeah,
It's always baffled me, but and if that's cool with them, that's cool with them.
yeah.
But um, I admire that experimentation, the changing, because I think it also says something about you as a person where you're not afraid to be different. Would you say that's true for yourself? You're not afraid to be different?
No, I mean, I guess not. I like to try new things. So yeah, I'm not afraid of to try new things. Yeah. Hmm.
Do you ever do you ever want to fit in?
I mean, that's a very broad question. And in what
Suppose
standards,
it
like,
is. Just in general, I think I'm just reflecting at like how it's a beautiful thing to be, different, to be bold, but also
Hmm.
like as human beings, we want to be a part of like a community. We want to fit in.
Yeah. So in that case, wait, so you're asking like, do I want to be like, oh, I want to fit in. That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah, I guess like j just in general, like what are your thoughts about being bold, about being different and wanting to fit in and fitting in?
I think being bold is a characteristic like so many people like need to like latch on because if you're not, you know what I mean, like when you grow up, you're gonna need a job, you know what I mean? Um, and as far as being different, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like how do I put this into words? I remember I was having this conversation with someone and we were talking about how so many people have this mindset of being like the main character. If you understand what I'm saying, right? You know, like everyone has this mindset, and this everyone, including myself. I'm not gonna deny
Is
it.
me too, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone has this mindset of, oh, I'm the main character, but reality is, oh, you're just another human being, right? You're no one different. So I guess like um at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be the same. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna be within society. I'm not gonna be different. Um, but this is just for me, you know what I mean? Like I just want to try this and that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, I am the same. I fit in with everyone else. I'm just I just stick out to some people, but reality is, you know what I mean? I'm still part of society, just like everyone else.
I love that. The way you put that, that was really cool, man. No, thanks for sharing that. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
Yeah, it is true. It's like a reminder to me as well. It's like, yeah, like, okay, you might stick out to some people, but at the end of the day, you're just like everyone else. We're all just the human herd.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
interesting thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
There was I was talking to a friend yesterday and we were discussing creativity and he had asked me something about something creative and I had told him I just have no stakes in it. And that conversation led on to just this idea of sometimes when you do anything, it doesn't even have to be creative, just in life. When you do something, you kind of hope that like it reacts in the world and that
Hmm.
like maybe it changes everything for you. But like little by little, the more and more and more you do, you kind of realize, well, it doesn't change all that much. Like perhaps it's building up to something, but it doesn't change all that much. And so it's important to take those first steps, those baby steps, because you realize that, oh, like even if I do begin a podcast, it doesn't change everything. Even if I
Yeah.
do write a book, it doesn't change everything. And
Hmm.
I think it's interesting because like some people, and I'm not dissing them for this, but they grow old and they're like, if only I started a podcast, it would change everything. And it's like their hope is just that one thing. And it's like realizing that like doing this may not change anything at all. But it's like going back to that thing, it's for yourself. So
Yeah.
this idea of being bold, even when it's like with style or whatever,
Hmm.
it's like do it for yourself because there's no guarantee, there's no stakes.
Yeah.
Nothing could happen of it. It's just for you.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Like, um, damn, why is my memory so bad? What was I gonna say? Like yeah, as you're saying, wait, I actually lost my train of thought. My bad.
No, it's
I'm just
totally
trying
okay,
to think.
man.
Yeah,
It's
man,
just a
my bad.
candid
It's just a
conversation. No
candid
worries.
conversation. Yeah, for sure. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, that was all I wanted to say. If there's anything,
Oh,
you wanted to, if it was on your
chime
mind that you
in?
just,
No, 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 I can't like for me like whenever I have a conversation, I mean like I always try to like just try and put light into it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just so like have fun. You know, I'm not trying to like be intellectual or be that. You know what I mean? I'm just doing me. You know, as I said before multiple times.
I like
Um,
that. How do you have fun in a conversation?
I mean, like for me, like you know what I mean, putting a smile on someone's face is probably like the best thing you can do. You know what I mean? So like I'll occasionally like not joke around, but yeah, okay, joke around. But you know, if a conversation needs to get serious, then I will get serious, of course. But otherwise, like, you know what I mean? I'm just having fun. And I'm hoping the other person I'm talking to is having fun. You know, I want to make sure their day goes well, just as mine, you know. But yeah, that's really how I have my conversations, you know, making sure they're fun. What about you? For
No,
you,
I
man,
like
whenever
that.
we have conversations, it gets really deep down into business, and I'm just like, all right, shoot me with what you got, Omer. That's how it is for
Damn.
me, at least.
You
I
know, it's
like it. I enjoy it.
interesting.
I enjoy
Oh,
it.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
hmm
It's interesting, like there's conversations where I have like a lot of fun just talking to people.
hmm
And then there's other ones like as you said where they just kind of get deep. And
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I'm having fun in both of them, but I
hmm
don't know, it's just something that I don't know. Blank
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Blank
Usually I
mind.
just nod my head. You know what I mean? If someone like having a deep conversation with me and I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're right, you're right. Oh, okay, okay. And like I won't chime in any thoughts, but you know, what I mean? Like for me, like you know, like I'll have fun. Like at first I was extremely nervous to be on this podcast. I'm like, I have no idea how it goes. But I mean, so far it's rolling pretty well, I'd say, for the least.
It is. Yeah, yeah, no.
hmm
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I appreciate you being here because I think people kind of sometimes have like a fear that it might be something like too serious or like I
hmm
have to like be somebody in front of the camera, but it's like, oh, it's just kind of candid. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
just candid.
just
Yeah.
just throwing things back and forth and seeing where they kind of go, you know?
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I gotta say? My bad. My brother keeps on texting me about something else. Like a little situation happened, so I gotta handle it. But yeah, but
Oh yeah, no, that's cool, man. No
hmm
worries. Yeah. Like this moment right now is a very interesting moment because it's like perhaps there's an expectation, right? Where it's like, oh, like conversation has to go this particular way. And it's like
yeah,
we're just kind of just sitting here like, oh, yeah, just nodding our heads like you
yeah,
said, right?
nodding our heads.
It's
Yeah,
like, oh, okay.
that's how I was expecting it to be. I think at one point, like when you first told me about it, I was like, oh, like should I like research like how to be in a podcast? And I'm like, nah, like I'm just gonna roll with the flow, however it goes, man. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's one thing. You know, some people try and do is like, you know, like I'll see people, and I'm not dissing them, but you know, I'll see people who like, okay, if it's an older, mature guy and he's very serious, and they're gonna be serious with them. And if it's like one of their boys, and I fall to this too. I'm not gonna like admit like, oh no, I don't do this. I do it too. But like at the end of the day, like I always try and make sure like my personality and my self sticks out. You know what I mean? Like real me shows, and that's like I mean like trying to be this energetic, fun guy. You know? I really don't enjoy when I see someone like for example, like someone comes to you, and for you, man, like whenever I have a conversation with you, man. Like I'll admit it, yeah. Like I'll try and get serious, but like otherwise, you know, I'm still gonna have my jokes, your personality. But like, let's say someone comes up to you and is trying to be really serious, and then when they're with their boys, you know what I mean? Like they're complete clowns, and I am too. But like, you know, to an extent, I make sure like both personalities show at the end of the day. Who I am sticks out. Like that's one thing I try and do.
Nice. And
hmm
this actually makes me think about another thing that I was curious to ask you was being a freshman in college. I I remember for myself that required some level of courage to kind of enter into. Was it like that for you as well? Or was it more like you just kind of came in just with the fun face?
So I will say this. Unfortunately, man, I have three older siblings, and they all went to UH, and they all made their marks. You know, especially the older one, which I told you should get on the podcast. I think it'd be really fun for you, Wasik. So he made his mark. So people already like you know he knew me, and I remember in high school, man, I was such a pain in the butt. I had to make a name for myself because everyone knew Wasik. But I mean, like for me, like there was no like courage needed. Um, I say where I get my courage from, man. If it wasn't for taking theater arts, and I tell every middle schooler
Oh,
this,
interesting.
but you
I didn't know this.
like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I took theater arts in middle school, and you have to perform in front of people, and that's like probably a nerve-wracking thing to do as a middle schooler. But you know what I mean? Once I was able to do that, you know what I mean? I was able to speak in public moments, right? Or like be approachable, right? Not be awkward conversations, or you know what I mean? Like at the masjid, if there's someone new at the mosque or anything, you know what I mean? I'm able to like approach them, introduce them to the community. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's a genetic thing or not, but like all my siblings have it. So for me, like seeing my older three siblings, have this personality, it was like okay, like if they can do it, so can I. So, entering as a freshman, I was able to bounce around. But I mean, like, I still got big steps to fill considering how my older brother did it. But you're the oldest, right?
Yeah, in my
So,
family, I am. Yeah.
mhm. I'd say
I
you made your mark
this
on
is
campus. I'll say that.
Thank you. This is
Yeah.
interesting what you're mentioning. The first question I wanted to ask about that was, do you think theater arts, I mean, obviously, as you said, it did build something in you, but what did it take from you to make you this way?
Um, I feel like it took my introverted personality because in elementary, man, I was not like a quiet kid, but I was like somewhat, and I wasn't able to speak in public, man. Like, oh, like you know what I mean? Like I can like talk to my boys normally. Oh, I can talk to friends normally. But like, you know what I mean? Like someone new, like I'm not even gonna talk to you, right? But then yeah, so I guess theater arts took my introverted like skills away. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like being introverted, like I'm sure there's like it's not like a horrible thing, but like you know what I mean? Like being extroverted, like it helps you as an individual. You know what I mean? Being able to talk to others, right? So I feel like if you are introverted or whatnot, you know what I mean? Try and build extroverted like um confidence, I guess. I don't know what the word would be. Extroverted skills, I guess. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah. Do you think that I'm not sure what acting was like for you, but like the characters you played, did they shape this ability in you to become a little more extroverted?
Now I gotta really think back to my days. Back when I got them trophies. Oof. No, I'm kidding. I did pantomime. I don't know if it's basically like talking. I mean, not talking performance. So you just have to make the judge laugh. And I also did dramatic, and those are two different, um, sides. And for dramatic, you have to be loud. You have to show your emotion. And people say whenever I talk, like I'll go from high to like low. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for dramatic, I think I would have had that high to low like conversation thingy. But I really don't remember all my roles. I remember my dramatic performances and I remember my pantomime. And I mean, those are two opposite sides. One's funny and one's being sad. But that's what gives my personality. I guess people say I have like a not split, but like I go up and down. Yeah.
Interesting. You
hmm
mentioned your siblings and kind of like the shadow. Do you feel like can a person ever like outgrow the shadow, do you think? Or emerge from it?
For sure. I do know, what I mean, like as I said, I have three older siblings. So the first two, they're like they went to college together and everything, right? My older sister and my older brother. And they made their presence on campus. But then my older brother, I mean, I feel like in my opinion, he outgrew their shadow. But he made it way too big for me. But I feel like it's not like a bad thing, right? Like if that's on your mind all the time, then like, I mean, you're just in a hopeless situation. So I mean, you gotta live with what you got, man. And like a lot of people know me for my siblings, right? Even my younger one. People are like, oh, are you Munib's brother? And I'll be like, yeah. Like that actually happened to me yesterday. And I was like, yeah, I am. And everyone's like, dang. Like they didn't even say the older sibling. They said the little one. And you know what I mean? Like I don't mind. You know what I mean? I don't mind that my older sibling or my siblings are able to do things like that. Because I'm sure maybe, hopefully, I'm kidding. Like that, um, you know, same thing happens to them. Oh, are you Muzammil's brother? No. No, I'm playing. I don't mind. I don't mind. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me at all.
Oh no, I like that, man. Hey, you
Hmm.
said like for sure, of course, like a person can, emerge out of that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about yourself as not the oldest and not the youngest sibling, how do you categorize yourself? Like what is the story you tell yourself about you? I know
Um,
that's a broad question, but
that
I'm
is,
just
I feel like I can tackle it. I technically I am on the younger side. I am the youngest, second youngest sibling, right? I have five siblings or four. Uh, yeah, point is large. But I consider myself, the middle sibling. Um, you know, the youngest for sure always gets the luckiest treatment. But they also have to work hard, right? There's pros and cons to each aspect, right? Being the oldest sibling, oh, you gotta work hard. But well, actually, no, being the oldest sibling just sucks. I know you gotta work hard. I mean, for you, you gotta work hard. You gotta set an example for your older siblings, right? Being the middle, like, I wouldn't say the expectations are not too high, but it's not too low as well.
yeah.
Um,
No, that's interesting.
yeah. So, uh, I'm just, I'm just me, man. That's what I tell people, man. Like, I just do me. That's what I do,
Yeah,
regardless
yeah.
of whatever.
Anytime anybody asks me about being the oldest sibling, I often say like heavy is the crown.
Hmm.
That thing where it's like, as you said, setting the example, being the oldest,
Yeah,
it's interesting. So I was curious about that with you, being well, that's not the case. It's like what is
yeah,
that like? It's interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, yeah.
Wait, you have like what, three siblings, right?
Two.
Two. Okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
that means I have four siblings. Okay. I did the math a little off. Two siblings. Sorry. So yeah, I mean that number is like I think it's a very clear like representation of like each siblings and how they are treated, right? You know what I mean? And you probably can see a very clear, and I'm sure like y'all are like not too far apart from age wise. Because like for me, like I was my oldest sibling, my sister, she's like 10 years older than me, right? My older brother, 8, other ones, oh, I forgot the numbers. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like a lot of siblings got to keep track. But you know what I mean? Like it's very different. You know what I mean? And even then, each household's very different. It depends on how it goes in that household. But yeah, that's like the main idea.
Are you a fan of Remy,
Remy.
the rat?
Yeah. I watched that movie once,
Once. Damn.
and that was when I was a kid. I don't know how old. And I wouldn't say I was a fan. I saw the rat at Disney World, and I was like, oh, this I must get, man. It looked really cool.
Yeah. No,
Did,
I always wanted to ask you about that because I love how you had a little puppet. Yeah.
yeah. I actually don't know where it is
I
anymore. I have no
oh
idea where it's
damn.
at.
I love
I
Ratatouille,
know,
man. I think it's
really,
perhaps my favorite Disney film or Pixar film. It's
really.
yeah, just kind of love
Yeah.
Remy.
Why
Yeah.
is that? Because for me, it's Lorax, and like I don't know, I just enjoyed Lorax. What about you, man?
Oh,
Remy.
interesting. Yeah, I
I
don't know.
rather.
I think like that like he's a rat and it's like it is so weird to be a chef and it's like he
Okay.
still remains authentic to just being him in spite of the tide that pulls against him.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
that's
for
really
sure.
cool. Yeah, why do you like the
Yeah.
Lorax?
Well, it's actually the Lorax or the Minions, because the Minions are just hilarious. I was watching the new movie, or the one that came out on Netflix recently, and I don't know, it was just like very fun to watch. But the Lorax, I feel like I watched that movie like out of all the Pixar movies I watched multiple times, it has to be the Lorax. One because the teachers would overplay it all the time, like during rainy day recess, and because I feel like the story is something that like people need to like pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It's a
the
good story,
carbon
man.
footprint. Yeah.
It's DreamWorks though. It's not Pixar.
Oh, Pixar.
Yeah.
Don't make me get into this. I don't know the difference between all of them.
Yeah. That's all good, man. I have to say, this has been a very fun conversation. Like it has been really all over the place, but it's like, wow, I love
Yeah,
that because it contributes to just the candidness of it all. So it's
yeah.
been cool. I'm
Hmm.
curious, Muzammil, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you felt like you wanted to say, you didn't get a chance to, or something on your mind that you wanted to express?
Yeah, for sure. For those watching and got all the way to the end, make sure you check out Omer's book. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. And I think that's it. Because for me, I enjoy supporting, you know what I mean, like not no offense to you or anything, but you know what I mean, like small time people who are trying to do something, right? My friend started up a lawn mowing business and now he's grown massively. And he has a huge like social media page and whatnot from it. So, you know what I mean? I always try and support, I guess, the concept of like local businesses, you know? So like your this podcast thing, you know what I mean? Like I watch it and I always hit the like button. I mean, I don't comment that much, but you know what I mean? I'm gonna try and keep up with it. That's why I tell people.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I really
Hmm.
appreciate that. And I love that. Yeah. It's supposed to be something that is kind of like explores really Houston and then Texas and then the US and the world. It's just like it's like a bit of everyone and you just kind of see like, oh, this is just us living,
Yeah,
and it's
literally.
like
Yeah, that's it.
a testament to our time in reality. It's like, oh, well, me and Muzumma, we had that conversation one time. Here it
Exactly.
is,
Yeah.
and it's cool to kind of look at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But thank you, Muzumma. I really appreciate that. And thanks for being here, man. Hey, I
For
had
sure.
fun. I appreciate your time.
I
And
did too. Yeah.
as you know, I admire your style, man. So it's really cool
Thank
to
you.
have you.
Thank you. For sure,
Yeah.
bro.
I suppose until next time, inshallah. You take care,
Yeah.
my friend.
All right, bro. All right, man.
Alaikum salam.